All right, let's dive right in. We're about to peel back the curtain on reality itself, because it turns out some of the most basic parts of your day, the very architecture of your life, they aren't natural laws. They're man-made scripts. Scripts you've been following every single day without even realizing it. So, let's get into it.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Your alarm clock. It's a piece of tech, right? And your deepest secrets? That's part of your soul. What on earth could possibly connect those two things? Well, today, we're going to uncover the hidden social rules, the architecture that links the external systems we live by with the internal truths we keep hidden.
Okay, first up, we are tackling the biggest concept of all, time. We think of it as this constant, universal thing that just is. But the version of time you live by, with its neat little hours and relentless deadlines, yeah, that was invented. And trust me, it was invented for a very specific reason.
You see, before the Industrial Revolution, our relationship with time was totally different. It was fluid. It was task-oriented. A blacksmith would work until the horseshoe was done. A farmer worked with the sun and the seasons. But then, factories changed everything. Suddenly, you needed a synchronized workforce, and for that, you needed a new kind of time, rigid, mechanical, and chopped up into 60-minute blocks. The clock, not the task, just became the new boss. And this shift didn't happen overnight. First, the factories needed everyone to punch in at the exact same moment. Then, the railroads came along, and they needed entire cities to agree on the time just to stop trains from crashing into each other. Suddenly, local, sun-based time was gone, replaced by these new, standardized time zones. And get this, even the weekend, that sacred thing we all live for, that wasn't a gift. It was fought for tooth and nail by labor unions. It's a recent invention.
We hear this phrase all the time, right? Time is money. And we just nod along like it's a law of physics. But it's not. It's a piece of cultural programming that came directly out of capitalism. It's a value system designed to make you see every single minute of your life in terms of its economic output. In other cultures, time is relationships, or it's cycles in nature. It's not currency.
And here's a little detail that really puts it all into perspective. The 9-to-5, 40-hour work week feels like this permanent, unchangeable fact of adult life, doesn't it? Well, it's less than 100 years old. For something so recent to have such an iron grip on our lives, wow, it just shows you how powerful these invisible scripts really are. We're treating a recent economic agreement like it's a law of nature.
So the takeaway here is huge. That buzzing alarm clock that jolts you awake every morning, it isn't just a neutral tool, not even close. It is the sound of a system designed to regulate labor, to discipline our bodies, and to make absolutely sure we show up on time to be productive for someone else. Time, as you and I know it, is a form of control.
Okay, so we've seen how an external script runs our days. But what about the invisible scripts that control our inner lives? We're going to pivot now, from schedules to secrets. And you might think that real honesty requires years of trust, but what if sometimes the exact opposite is true? You know, sociologists actually have a name for this. They call it the stranger-on-the-train phenomenon. It's that weird but incredibly common experience where you find yourself telling a bartender or the person sitting next to you on a plane things you would never, ever dream of telling your best friend or your partner. I mean, this feels totally backwards, doesn't it? We're taught our whole lives that trust is the foundation of honesty and intimacy, so why would we share our most vulnerable truths with someone we will literally never see again? Well, the answer comes down to one simple thing: social risk.
Think about it. When you confess something really heavy to a loved one, the stakes are sky high. You risk judgment, it could change how they see you forever, it could damage the relationship. But with a stranger, poof, there are zero consequences. They exist completely outside your social world. It's a judgment-free zone, and that allows for a kind of raw honesty that's just too risky inside our own circles.
And this idea actually connects way back to the great sociologist Emil Durkheim. His work suggests that society isn't just held together by our deep, strong bonds, but also by these fleeting, so-called weak ties. And here's the paradox. It's often these weak ties that give us the biggest emotional release, precisely because there's no history and no future. There's just that one moment of pure, unfiltered truth. And once you see this pattern, you see it everywhere. It's the whole reason anonymous forums like Reddit are filled with the most incredible, honest confessions. It's why a therapist, who is basically a professional stranger, can be so effective. It's a fundamental social dynamic. Sometimes, the greatest freedom comes from having no connection at all.
So, we've looked at the clock on your wall and the secrets in your heart. Two completely different parts of your life, yet both are run by these powerful, invisible social scripts. So let's bring it all together and really see the social matrix that's been built all around us.
So, when we step back, what have we uncovered? We've seen that the time we live by isn't a law of nature, it's an economic tool. We've seen that being on time is a modern, manufactured moral value. And on a deeply personal level, we learn that our deepest truths don't always need closeness. Sometimes they need distance to come out. And those fleeting connections with strangers, they're not meaningless. They're a vital release valve for our minds.
And this, right here, is the really mind-blowing idea at the heart of it all. The way you manage your day and the way you guard your secrets. They feel like such personal, natural parts of who you are, but both are profoundly shaped by hidden social engineering. They are scripts designed to make our society and our economy run in a very, very particular way.
So I'll leave you with this final question. Now that you can see the strings behind something as basic as time, what else in your life are you going to start looking at differently? What other natural truths are really just scripts, waiting for you to discover them? I hope this has given you a powerful new way to see your world. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.